In this video, you're going to understand why many businesses that seem simple, ordinary, and even unglamorous can be extremely profitable when they're well executed. Many people spend years looking for the big revolutionary idea. They want to create the next famous app, the next billion-dollar company, the next innovation everyone will talk about. But while some people wait for the perfect idea, others are making money with ordinary, repetitive, necessary services. The truth is that wealth doesn't always come from something beautiful, modern, or impressive. Often, it comes from solving simple problems that almost no one wants to solve. Cleaning, washing, repairing, renting, organizing, servicing, maintaining, installing, controlling, automating. These activities may not seem exciting, but they have one very powerful thing going for them. People need them all the time. And when there's constant need, there's opportunity. The secret of these businesses isn't glamour, it's predictability, it's repetition. It's the fact that the customer needs the service today, tomorrow, next month, and often for years. That's why businesses considered boring can quietly build wealth. They don't attract much attention. They don't seem very appealing. They don't make much noise on social media. But they can generate cash, recurring contracts, and stability for those who know how to operate with discipline. And the first example is commercial window cleaning. Imagine a commercial building, a store, a restaurant, a clinic, an office, or a small business. Every day, people walk by, look at the entrance, see the storefronts, the glass doors, and the windows. If everything is clean, nobody says much, but if it's dirty, stained, or neglected, everyone notices. For the business owner, that affects the customer's first impression. A restaurant with dirty glass seems less careful. A clinic with dusty windows conveys neglect. A store with a stained storefront can turn away people walking by on the sidewalk. That's why, even though it's a simple task, commercial window cleaning has real value. The interesting thing is that few people look at this type of service as an opportunity. Many think, that's hard work, that has no status, that doesn't seem big. But precisely because of that, there may be less qualified competition. Not everyone wants to climb ladders, deal with the sun, work early, carry equipment, organize routes, and do physical work. But whoever agrees to do what many avoid can find a market that needs to be served over and over. And here's the important point. Businesses don't need to clean windows just once. They need to keep the place clean constantly. That opens the door to monthly, bi-weekly, or weekly contracts. Instead of selling a single cleaning and then going out to look for another customer from scratch every day, you can build a base of recurring customers. That's the kind of business that looks simple from the outside, but can be smart on the inside. A person can start with a few basic pieces of equipment, study safety techniques, learn to approach small businesses, set up a route by neighborhood, and offer maintenance plans. First, they serve one store, then two, then a small building, then a clinic. Over time, they start to realize they're not just cleaning windows, they're building a client base, and a base of recurring customers can be worth a lot. Because when the customer pays every month, the business becomes more predictable. You can plan cash flow better, organize schedules, hire help when needed, and grow in a more structured way. The mistake many people make is dismissing simple businesses because they don't seem sophisticated. But money doesn't care about glamour. Money follows value, need, and execution. If a company needs clean windows and you solve that problem with punctuality, quality, and trust, you're creating value. And when you create value repeatedly, you can build income. So the first lesson of this video is clear. Stop thinking a profitable business needs to look good to others. Sometimes the money is exactly in the areas that many people ignore. Commercial window cleaning may not seem exciting, but it solves a real problem, has continuous demand, and can turn into a recurring service. And that's the big lesson of unglamorous businesses. They can be simple, but they're not small when there's discipline, organization, and constant execution. Turning services and spaces into recurring income after understanding that simple businesses can be profitable precisely because many people don't want to do them. The next point is even more important: turning services and spaces into recurring income. Because there's a big difference between making money once and building a source of income that repeats. Many people start a small business thinking only about getting the next customer. They work today, get paid today, deliver today, and tomorrow they have to go looking for everything all over again. That can work at first, but it can also leave a person exhausted because every week feels like starting from zero. The secret of the smartest businesses is creating repetition. It's making the customer come back. It's closing contracts. It's occupying good spots. It's putting a machine to work. It's turning a constant need into cash flow. That's why services like pressure washing, portable toilet rental, vending machines and ATMs may seem simple, but have a powerful logic behind them. Take pressure washing, for example. Houses, sidewalks, parking lots, storefronts, walls, store entrances, condominiums, restaurants and commercial areas get dirty over time. Dust, stains, oil, mold and grime accumulate. The property owner may ignore it for a while, but eventually it starts to bother them. And when it bothers them, someone needs to fix it. Pressure washing is simple to understand. You use the right equipment to clean surfaces with more force and efficiency. But the money isn't just in the cleaning itself. The money is in organizing the service professionally. A person can start by serving residences. Then they can offer maintenance for small businesses. Then they can close contracts with condominiums, parking lots, car washes, restaurants and companies that need to keep the place looking good at all times. And here comes the most important part. If the customer needs to clean again in a few months, you're not just selling one service. You can sell a maintenance plan. Instead of showing up once and disappearing, you come back every month, every 2 months, or every quarter. That makes the income more predictable. The same happens with portable toilet rentals. It may seem like an unappealing business to many people, but think about how many places need it. Construction sites, events, fairs, concerts, rural areas, parking lots, outdoor parties, renovations, and temporary projects. Nobody wants to talk much about this type of service, but when it's missing, everyone notices. And that's exactly why there's demand. Whoever organizes an event needs infrastructure. Whoever runs a construction site needs to meet requirements. Whoever hosts people in an open space needs to offer the basics. And in this type of business, the customer isn't just paying for the portable toilet. They're paying for delivery, pickup, cleaning, maintenance, and reliability. If you can deliver on time, keep everything clean, and solve problems quickly, you become necessary. And necessary businesses have value. Another example is vending machines. A vending machine doesn't need to convince the customer with a salesperson talking all day. It needs to be in the right place, with the right products, and well stocked. The secret here is location. A machine in a weak spot may sell little, but a machine well positioned in a school, gym, office building, hospital, factory, condominium, workshop, station or place with steady foot traffic can generate sales every day. And the interesting thing is that the machine works even when the owner isn't there. Of course, that doesn't mean easy money. You need to buy or lease the machine, choose products, negotiate the spot, restock, track inventory, handle maintenance, and understand customer behavior. But when it works, the model can create more automated income than many traditional services. The same principle shows up in ATMs. In some places, people still need to withdraw cash, especially in areas with little bank access, busy stores, gas stations, bars, events, or establishments where physical cash still circulates a lot. The ATM owner can earn fees per transaction, depending on the model, contract, and location. Once again, the big issue isn't innovation. It's the right spot, real need, and well-organized operation. These examples show an important lesson. Predictable businesses often depend less on brilliant ideas and more on consistent execution. You don't need to invent something the world has never seen. Sometimes you just need to find a repeated need and serve it better than others. The big question is, does this business depend on finding a new customer every day, or can it generate repeat payments? That question changes the way you look at opportunities. A service done once can make money, but a service that repeats creates stability. A machine selling in a good spot can generate daily flow. A monthly contract can bring predictability. A well-used space can become a source of income. That's why simple businesses can be so strong. They don't depend on fame. They don't depend on appearance. They don't depend on seeming modern. They depend on solving real problems in the right places for people who need them more than once. So the next lesson is this: look for models that can generate recurring income. Pressure washing can turn into a maintenance contract. Portable toilets can serve events and construction sites repeatedly. Vending machines can sell every day in good spots. ATMs can generate revenue per transaction in strategic locations. The secret isn't just working more. The secret is creating systems where money keeps coming in because the need keeps existing. And when you understand that, you start to realize that some of the most profitable businesses aren't the most glamorous. They're the most necessary, repetitive, and well-positioned. Simple services can generate predictable revenue. After talking about businesses that turn services and spaces into recurring income, the next point is to understand that some of the strongest businesses in the world are built on top of simple, repeated, necessary tasks. And here comes a truth many people ignore. Not every business needs to be exciting to make money. Sometimes it just needs to solve a problem people don't want to solve on their own. That's why services like basic bookkeeping for small businesses, residential or commercial cleaning, and pest control can generate predictable revenue. They don't depend on trends. They don't depend on going viral. They don't depend on a great invention. They depend on need. Think of a small business owner. They have a store, a workshop, a barbershop, a restaurant, a clinic, or a service company. They already need to sell, serve customers, take care of employees, buy supplies, solve problems, and keep the business running. Often, the last thing they want is to spend hours organizing receipts, invoices, taxes, payments, and simple reports. So if someone offers organized, reliable, affordable, basic bookkeeping, that service starts to have value. Not because it's glamorous, but because it takes a weight off the customer's shoulders. And the most interesting thing is that this type of service tends to repeat. The small business owner doesn't need to organize their finances just once. They need it every month. They need to track income, expenses, documents, payments, and obligations. If you deliver trust, clarity, and punctuality, that customer can keep paying for a long time. That's the power of recurrence. Now think about residential and commercial cleaning. Houses get dirty, offices get dirty, clinics get dirty, stores get dirty, restaurants need constant maintenance, condominiums need frequent cleaning. This is the kind of need that never disappears. A person may hire a cleaning once, but if the service is done well, if there's trust, care, and organization, they may want it to happen every week, every 2 weeks, or every month. And when that happens, you stop selling just one cleaning day. You start building a schedule. A schedule full of recurring customers is worth much more than constantly chasing new customers every day, because the recurring customer already knows your work. They trust you. They know what to expect. And when there's trust, the business becomes more predictable. The same happens with commercial cleaning. For a business, appearance matters. A clean office conveys professionalism. A clean store welcomes customers better. A clean clinic conveys care. A clean restaurant protects its reputation. That's why many businesses prefer to outsource this service instead of trying to do everything in-house. And here's an opportunity. Whoever can offer a simple service with a professional standard can stand out. Punctuality, clear communication, uniforms, organization, task lists, proper products, respect for the customer's space, and consistency can turn a common service into a reliable business. Many people look at cleaning and think only about the physical work. But whoever thinks like an entrepreneur sees something else: contracts, staff, routine, recurrence, and scale. Pest control follows the same logic. Nobody wants to deal with infestations, insects, rodents, or problems that put a house, a restaurant, a market, a school, or a commercial building at risk. It's an uncomfortable situation, but a necessary one. And precisely because it's uncomfortable, many people prefer to pay a professional. Besides, pest control usually isn't a one-time need. Many places need regular visits, prevention, maintenance, and follow-up. Restaurants, markets, warehouses, condominiums, and companies can't wait for the problem to get big before acting. They need to prevent it, and prevention can turn into a contract. This is the central point. Predictable businesses aren't built with one-time sales alone. They're built when you solve a problem that keeps coming back. Bookkeeping needs to be done every month. Cleaning needs to be done every week. Pest control needs to be maintained over time. These services seem simple, but they have something many modern businesses don't have: constant demand. The difference between earning little and building a strong business lies in how you organize delivery. If you serve customers, however, without standards, without control, and without communication, you stay just another service provider. But if you create process, quality, and trust, you start building a company, and a company can grow. First, you serve alone. Then you build a small client base, then you hire help, then you organize routes, then you create monthly plans, then you improve billing, service, and retention. Bit by bit, that simple service starts turning into a structure. The mistake many people make is dismissing businesses because they seem too small at first, but almost every big business starts small. The difference is that some people give up because they want something beautiful fast, while others keep executing the simple thing with excellence. And money likes that. Money likes a solved problem. It likes a satisfied customer. It likes a repeated service. It likes trust. It likes predictability. So the lesson of this point is clear. Look for simple services that people need repeatedly and prefer to outsource. Basic bookkeeping, residential cleaning, commercial cleaning, and pest control aren't flashy businesses, but they can generate predictable income when well organized. Because in the end, keeping recurring customers can be worth much more than getting several one-time customers. A customer who pays every month helps you plan. A recurring contract gives stability. A predictable schedule allows growth. And a simple service, when delivered with quality, can become a solid source of income. That's the strength of unglamorous businesses. They don't need to impress everyone. They just need to solve real problems, reliably, for customers who need to come back. Making money by renting out infrastructure. After understanding that simple services can generate predictable revenue, the next point is to realize that some businesses get even stronger when you control a structure that other people need to use repeatedly. That's the case with laundromats, self-storage, and tool or equipment rental. The logic is simple. You buy, set up, or control an asset once, and then charge multiple people for using it. A laundromat, for example, may seem like an ordinary business, but it solves a constant problem. People need to wash clothes every week. In areas where many apartments are small, where students live alone, or where families don't have their own machines, a well-located laundromat can generate steady traffic. The same happens with self-storage. Many people and companies need extra space to store furniture, inventory, documents, tools, or items that don't fit at home. Instead of buying a bigger property, they rent a smaller space by the month. And that's where the strength of recurring income comes in. The customer doesn't pay just once. They pay for as long as they need that space. Tool and equipment rental follows the same idea. Many people need to use a drill, a cleaning machine, a ladder, gardening equipment, or a specific tool for just a few days. For them, buying doesn't make sense. Renting is cheaper and more practical. And for the equipment owner, that can turn into income. The secret of these businesses lies in location, maintenance, and good management. It's not enough to have the asset. You need to take care of it, keep everything working, charge correctly, market it to the right audience, and make the customer experience easy. Besides that, these spaces can generate extra income through complementary businesses. A laundromat can have vending machines, soap sales, coffee machines, or small additional services. A self-storage facility can offer boxes, locks, transport, or insurance. A tool rental business can sell accessories, parts, or related services. That's the point. When you control a useful structure, you can create multiple forms of revenue around it. The lesson here is simple. Look for assets that can be used many times by different customers. Because when you buy something just to consume it, the money goes out and doesn't come back. But when you control something other people need to use, that same asset can generate income repeatedly. And that's how many unglamorous businesses become powerful. They don't depend on looking modern. They depend on utility, location, and repetition. 5. Find opportunities in niches that seem too small. The fifth step is learning to look for opportunities that most people ignore. Many people want to enter giant markets, compete with big companies, and create something that seems impressive. But often, the money is hidden in small, specific niches that are unappealing to most. That's where opportunities like collectible card reselling, small parts manufacturing, and management software for very specific sectors come from. It may seem too simple, but there's a powerful logic behind it. When a problem is too small for a big company, it can be perfect for an attentive entrepreneur. Imagine a group of collectors who buy and sell rare cards. To many people, that seems like just a hobby. But for someone who understands the market, who knows how to assess rarity, condition, demand, and price, it can become a profitable business. Now think about small parts. A company might need a specific part for maintenance, replacement, or equipment operation. For a large industry, that might seem too small, but for the customer who needs the part, it's important. The same happens with niche software. Maybe a small clinic needs to manage appointments. Maybe a workshop needs to organize service orders. Maybe a small supplier needs inventory control. Maybe a freelancer needs to issue simple reports. Big tech companies often don't create specific solutions for these small problems because they're chasing huge markets. But whoever solves a small problem well can find loyal customers. The secret is observing repetitive tasks, operational pain points, and needs that nobody is properly addressing. Ask, what small problem bothers these people every day? If you find that problem and create a simple, clear, useful solution, you can build a business around it. It doesn't need to be grand at first. It can be a well-made spreadsheet, a simple system, a specific physical product, a custom part, a specialized store, or a service aimed at a small but loyal audience. Because not every business needs to serve everyone. Sometimes the best path is to serve a specific group very well. The fifth step is this: stop dismissing small niches. Where most people see something too simple, there may be an opportunity. Where big companies don't want to enter, there may be room for you. Where there's a repeated problem, there's a chance to create value. Because wealth doesn't only come from big ideas. Often, it comes from solving small problems better, faster, and more reliably than others. 6. Specialize traditional services to charge more. The sixth step is understanding that an ordinary service can become much more profitable when you specialize. Many people try to serve everyone. They do any service for any customer in any situation. The problem is that when you're generic, you end up competing mainly on price. But when you solve a specific problem for a specific group, your value increases. For example, electrical services can become more valuable when focused on smart homes, cameras, automation, and technology. Plumbing can charge more when serving commercial kitchens, restaurants, and businesses that can't afford to stop. Parking lots can generate a lot of money when located in high-demand areas, near hospitals, shopping centers, events, or offices. The idea is simple. Instead of being just another provider in the market, become the right person for a specific problem. Whoever has an urgent or specialized problem doesn't just want the cheapest option. They want someone reliable, fast, and prepared. That's the power of specialization. You don't need to completely change your business. Sometimes you just need to choose your audience better, understand that audiences pain better, and offer a more precise solution. The sixth step is this: stop competing with everyone and start becoming indispensable to a specific group. Because common services generate income, but specialized services can generate bigger margins, better customers, and more respect in the market. Buy a ready-made system instead of always starting from zero. The seventh step is understanding that not every business needs to start from absolute zero. Many people think entrepreneurship means creating everything alone, finding the idea, building the brand, winning the first customers, testing the product, making mistakes several times, and only then starting to make money. But there's another path: buying or entering a system that already works. That's why service franchises and existing businesses can be interesting. In a franchise, you get a more structured model with a brand, processes, training, and an already tested way of operating. When you buy an existing business, you can acquire something that already has customers, history, equipment, employees, and cash flow. Of course, that doesn't mean there's no risk. You need to analyze the numbers, understand the debts, check the reputation, study the costs, and know whether that business really makes a profit. Buying a bad business can be worse than starting from zero. But when the analysis is done well, buying a ready-made system can reduce some of the uncertainty. Instead of spending years trying to find out if there's demand, you enter something that already serves customers. Instead of starting with no revenue, you can take over an operation that already generates income. Instead of building everything alone, you improve what already exists. The seventh step is this: consider businesses that already have structure, because sometimes the best opportunity isn't in inventing something new. It's in finding a simple business that's already working, improving the management, and making it grow more efficiently. Prioritize businesses with recurring revenue. The eighth step is understanding that the best business isn't always the one that sells a lot once, but the one where the customer pays again. That's one of the biggest differences between unstable income and predictable income. When you sell something only once, you need to find another customer right after. But when you create a monthly service, a recurring contract, a subscription, or a repeated need, the business starts to breathe better. So before choosing an idea, ask a simple question: does this customer pay me once, or can they come back every month? A laundromat can receive customers every week. A cleaning company can close monthly contracts. Niche software can charge a subscription. Automated machines can sell every day. Maintenance services can have recurring plans. Recurring revenue gives predictability. It helps you plan, hire, invest better, and grow with less desperation. Because the problem with many businesses isn't lack of work, it's lack of stability. Every month starts from zero. Every month you have to chase new customers. Every month there's fear of not selling enough. But when there's recurrence, part of the income already comes in with more security. The eighth step is this: look for businesses where the customer needs to come back. Because wealth doesn't only come from selling a lot once. It also comes from creating simple systems that generate repeated payments over time. 9. Win with consistency, not by searching for the perfect idea. The ninth step is to stop wasting years looking for the perfect idea and start executing something simple for long enough. Many people get stuck in this trap. Today, they think about opening an online store. Tomorrow, they want to create an app. Then they want to sell a course. Then they want to get into cryptocurrency. Then they want to open a franchise. And in the end, they never go deep into anything. Meanwhile, someone else chooses a simple, unglamorous business and starts working with discipline. They improve service, organize processes, learn to sell better, take care of customers, and reinvest part of the profit. After a few years, whoever seemed to be doing something boring starts building wealth. The difference wasn't a brilliant idea. It was execution. A simple business done every day with seriousness can beat a beautiful idea that never leaves the drawing board. It's like Daniel and Alex. Daniel spent years searching for the next big opportunity. He wanted something innovative, modern, and impressive. But whenever he started, he'd quit quickly because another, more interesting idea would show up. Alex did the opposite. He bought an existing laundromat, learned the operation, improved the service, organized the costs, and then added vending machines at the same location. It didn't seem exciting, but it worked. The ninth step is this: choose something simple, necessary, and repeatable, then execute with consistency, because wealth doesn't always come from the most brilliant idea. Often it comes from doing something ordinary better than most people, for longer than most people are willing to keep going. Understand that wealth can come from the simple, well-executed. The 10th and final step is understanding the big message of this video. You don't need to find the most beautiful, modern, or talked about idea to build wealth. Often, the money is in the simple. It's in cleaning commercial windows with quality. It's in washing storefronts and sidewalks. It's in renting out equipment. It's in running a laundromat. It's in selling through vending machines. It's in providing recurring services. It's in solving small problems almost nobody wants to solve. Most people ignore these businesses because they don't seem impressive. They want something that gives status, that seems innovative, that grabs attention. But whoever thinks like an entrepreneur looks at something else: demand, repetition, margin, location, contracts, and cash flow. Because a business doesn't need to be glamorous to be profitable. It needs to solve a real problem. If the customer needs that service several times, there's opportunity. If few people want to do that work, there may be less competition. If you can deliver with trust, punctuality, and quality, you can build a customer base. And if those customers keep coming back, the business stops depending only on luck and starts gaining predictability. That's the difference between chasing novelties and building a simple income machine. Wealth can come when you choose an ordinary service, organize it better than your competitors, treat the customer seriously, control costs, reinvest profit, and keep improving every month. At first, it may seem small. Maybe just one customer, then 2, then 5, then monthly contracts, then better equipment, then a small team, then new locations, new services, and new revenue sources. That's how many businesses grow. Not with noise, but with consistency. So the conclusion is simple. Stop dismissing opportunities just because they seem ordinary. Simple businesses can build wealth when they have constant need, recurring revenue, and good execution. If you're looking for an opportunity, start by observing what people need every day, every week, or every month. Observe what they don't want to do. Observe what companies need to outsource. Observe where there's discomfort, repetition, and little qualified competition. Because where many see unglamorous work, an attentive entrepreneur can see cash flow. In the end, it's not the person who just dreams of the perfect idea who wins. It's the person who chooses a real problem, starts small, improves every day, and stays long enough to reap the results. If this video made sense to you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to understand that wealth can also come from the simple. And write in the comments, "I will build wealth through execution." Make that phrase a commitment, because while many spend years waiting for the big opportunity, others are getting rich solving simple problems nobody wanted to do.